Got it. Okay. How the market crash. Okay, so this is awesome. How the market crash will happen. That's why I had to go live and talk about it is so important that we talk about this. So whenever I'm going live, y'all know I'm hyped up. Something happened in the news. Something happened where I'm just like, okay, we got to talk about this. So let me turn this volume up in my headphones so I can hear you guys. All right. So how the market crash will happen. Super important that we talk about this. So we have right now in housing some of the worst affordability since 1984. Like literally, people are requiring nearly 40% of their income in order to qualify for a house, and the standard of what you want it to cost your income to be is only about 30%. It's like a max of 30%. So the fact that it's nearly 40% of your income is making homes really unaffordable. So we really got to kind of talk about that. Another major thing that I want you guys to know that's happening is obviously we've had there was a time at the end of 2023, we had like 11 straight months of house values just going up, going up, going up. And that was a really great thing. That's a great thing for a real estate investor, but not so much if you're looking to buy a house. But I'm going to talk about this because again, real estate is the number one way to wealth. More than 89% of all millionaires have been created so through real estate. So for some of us, we're afraid to buy a house and we're afraid that we should be a homeowner, or we're afraid that we should get rental properties. And that's just not the case. Like there's so many people out here giving advice, but they're giving advice from their perspective. And if you're like me, if you're of my race, maybe you're of my gender, maybe you have my family background, maybe you know, your family is not wealthy, then you have to follow a different path. So somebody is telling you, and they have a tradition in their family where they were able to go to college and people was able to pay for their school and this, that, and the other. Don't listen to them about if you should buy a house or not. You definitely should buy a house. However, this video that I'm going to be talking to you guys about and why I went live is because there is an affordability thing going on. And so we got to kind of talk about what that means for you and what you can do, because there are things that you can do. There are ways that you can get a house. And again, real estate is the number one way to wealth. You got to get your first house, get that next house, get that rental portfolio going. Real estate, excuse me, is the number one way to millionaire. Like literally more millionaires have been created so through real estate than all industrial investments combined. So if somebody is telling you, oh, don't buy a house, rent. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying? They're telling you to rent. Why? Because they own multifamily apartment buildings and stuff like that. So stop listening to these people. Some of these older, much older people. Y'all know exactly who I'm talking about, telling you not to buy a house, but to rent their apartments. Crazy. I'm not saying that you don't rent, because you have to rent in order to buy in most cases, but don't fall for that trap. Okay. So let's get into this. So actually on YouTube, if you are on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Before I get into this, only 38% of you are actually subscribed to my channel. Now, yes, I know I have a lot of subscribers, but just think only 38% of you are actually subscribed to my channel. So please, it helps my channel. It helps me get great guests on. It helps my team. We can do great research. It helps so much if you could just hit that button, subscribe. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. All right, especially on YouTube. That is where I'm able to get some great guests. I'm able to attract wealthy people. Remember, they look at the numbers and it helps the algorithm. Okay, and if you're on TikTok, follow me there as well, because I go live a lot, and I'm going live a lot in 2024 to teach you and show y'all the way. Okay, so let's get into this. Like I said, we have record home buying prices for the past straight 11 months, for 11 straight months. Okay. We also had record down payments, meaning people were putting down incredible amounts of money. Usually people were putting down like 3% and 5%. But over like the past year, people have been putting down 20%, 30% to get a property, meaning people that have those no down payments, and we have the NACA programs, or you have these down payment assistance, they were not getting the houses. People that had those big down payments were getting the houses. So that was one of the trends. Another trend, of course, was higher interest rates. Some of you guys already know with inflation, interest rates had gone really high. In fact, almost 8% on a mortgage at one point. But we have good news. Okay, so let's talk about some good news. The Jerome Powell, he is the head of the Fed. Okay, and the Fed is what the interest rates that the banks have, and then the banks in turn loan you the money. So He has already said there's going to be 3 rate reductions in 2024 over over like the next year. And each of them should be like a quarter of a point each. So like 0.25, which would make at the end of this interest rates for the home buyers. Okay. If you're looking to buy a home, it should make your interest rate around 5.5 when this is all said and done. And that is like the sweet spot. Okay. If we can get interest rates on mortgages back on a 30-year fixed around 5.5, that's the sweet spot. It's going to help affordability because, again, if the rates are 7 and 8%, then that reduces how much home you can buy. And then at the same time, there was less inventory, there's less houses available. So the home prices are up. You get it, supply and demand. If the demand is high and the supply is low, then the price is high. Okay, so that's what we had with these high interest rate environments. So people were putting down bigger down payments, meaning people that had, like the first time home buyers with 3% down, they were not winning the house. So let's talk about this. Okay. Population in America has grown by 18% in the past decade. Okay. So population is growing. People are always talking about, oh, I want to leave America and this, that, and the other, but they're not leaving. So we have population growth. So that means housing demand is up. So we need homes for people to live in. Again, there's no app you can live in. They're not creating an iPhone 18 and you can live in that. No, we still need to live in something. Okay. So we still have, so the demand for housing is not going away, which is why, again, I am telling you, you want to invest in real estate. People are not going to be able to live in an app or a phone, or there's no technology that they're coming up with. All they come up with is multifamily, which is apartment buildings, which, again, if you start your real estate portfolio, you can own an apartment building and then you can be the landlord. Instead of you renting and people telling you, oh, I'm rich, I'm a billionaire, don't buy no house. How he got to be billionaire status? So that would be so hypocritical of me, a real estate multimillionaire, to tell you not to do what I do or what I used to do and tell you to buy cryptocurrency and foolishness like that. So again, I really am up here really in my truth season. I love y'all so much. I'm really in my truth season and I'm stepping out a little bit bigger and really just coming at some of these people. Y'all know who I'm talking about, that are billionaires telling you not to buy a house, but they own apartment buildings and they want you to rent their apartment building or give them money so they could buy more apartment buildings. What sense does that make for you? Does that make sense for you? No, it does not. And that's a part of the housing market crash. You have all of this wealth consolidated by these few people, by all people that are already rich. And instead of them giving back and telling you what they did to build their wealth, they're telling you not to buy a home and to give them their money, and then they buy apartment buildings and then you rent. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You are going to buy a house. And then I'm going to show you how you can easily turn one house into 5 houses. And then you trade those in, you sell them off, and then you build your portfolio. And you can actually have multifamily. You can replace your income the same way that Noelle did. I used to live in my parents' basement, broke, bankrupt, no money, bad credit. Today, I am a multimillionaire. So I'm going to tell you the same things that I did to build my wealth so that we can all be stronger together. Okay. Instead of you listening to people that don't look like you and not nowhere near your age, almost 70 years old, telling you young hustlers don't buy a house. And that's all he did. Come on now. Anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all do. Y'all know a few of the men that I'm talking about. Okay. So anyway, when we're talking about new construction, let's talk about what else is going on in the market, because this is so important for this market crash that I'm going to get to the end of what you could do. All right. Builders actually also are paying higher interest rates, which is why one of the reasons you'll see most of the new construction in residential have been multifamily apartment buildings. Like everywhere around the country, you see these big apartment complexes, luxury apartment complexes where a 1-bedroom is nearly $2,000 a month in some cases. Okay. 3 bedrooms, $2,500, $3,000 per month. So very unaffordable. Literally in most places, you need at least to make one person needs to make about $71,000 per year. Okay. And then, on the West Coast, I'm talking about in California, you need like $161,000 a year to be able to afford a house. So let's talk about how you can get a house, though, because like I said, builders are actually having to pay these higher interest rates as well. And so that's another reason why they have to charge what they're charging for rent. So I'm not saying that the builders are necessarily doing something, but because it costs more for them to build the homes, it's higher construction costs. They have to then pass that on to the people that are renting these apartments. So that's why I'm saying that it's a great business for us to get into. But in order to even qualify to buy a multifamily, you have to have a mortgage. So you got to get that first house going. And they have conventional loans, they have FHA loans, they have VA loans. If you're a veteran, where you're putting down 3%, 0%, and you're getting your first property. Okay. So if you need help with that, you can always go to newlending.com. That's NUULENDING.com. Okay. Fill out an application. We're not pulling your credit or anything like that. And we can start getting you on the track of getting you qualified to buy a home. Okay. Or if you already have a home, let's talk about you getting that portfolio. Okay. Because you need passive income, and real estate is an amazing way to start getting assets that do what we call the golden trinity to wealth. Okay. The golden trinity is cash flow. Okay. And they call it a trinity because it's a triangle. Okay. Cash flow. And so that is short-term rentals or long-term rentals, having properties that you can rent out. Super important to building your wealth. The second thing is equity. So when you put down money on a property, okay, why we like real estate is because that's automatically equity in the property. So if I put down $10,000, $50,000, when I bought that property, they did an appraisal. So let's just say I buy a house that's $250,000. Most likely it appraised for a little bit more than that. In some cases, a lot more than that, using some of the techniques that I'm going to talk about in a second. But just say worst case scenario, it appraised for $250,000, and that's what you paid for it. And you put down $10,000. Well, you have $10,000 worth of equity. You can go back and take a loan against that. That goes to your net worth, okay, which is how you can get other loans and business lines of credit and things like that. You have equity. And then the last thing, which is the most important thing about real estate, is appreciation. So it naturally goes up in value over time. Okay. And so with real estate, especially with rental properties, you get all three. And if you do some of the things that I teach you with short-term rentals, and again, you don't have to be the manager of them, your cash flow is actually higher. Okay. There is a little bit more work with short-term rentals. I'll talk to you guys about that in a second, but it does cash flow at a much higher rate. So instead of making $300 or $400 per month, you're going to be making $1,500, $2,000 per month off of that property. And you still have that appreciation where it's going up in value. So you're still getting that. Okay. And then you sell the property or you refinance it, pull some of that cash out. You could do a HELOC, which is one of the things that we recommend now. The HELOC market has opened back up. It's a lot easier to get a HELOC. And if you're smart and you're not, someone that's going to take the money and go buy purses and Jordans, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to buy sneakers with it. You literally can get you 3, 4, 5 more pieces of property, and you can literally replace your income and quit your job. Okay. That's what Noelle Randall did. And then I have my time. And once you own your time, that's truly how you get rich. Okay. So let's get back to how this housing crash would happen. So let me go back and tell you some of the stats if you're just joining in live. Like I said, we have some of the worst housing affordability since 1984. Okay. Home prices versus what people are making is not matching up. Mostly it's about 38% of your income on most people is what it's costing in order to get a home. And it really should be around 30% of your income. Okay. Not nearly 40%. We had record home buying for 11 straight months. However, down payments were at a record high, meaning people were putting down 20, 30, 40, 50% down on a property. But that was one of the reasons was because interest rates were at the record highs. Okay. Interest rates have been at record highs. All right. And population growth is about 18%. So we have all of these people, we have people growing, we still need housing for them. That's why residential real estate is still probably one of the best real estate markets, why I'm telling you stay away from commercial. And I don't mean commercial as in residential. So I don't mean apartment buildings. That is still a great investment, which is why I'm telling you them people, and y'all know who I'm talking about. That man keep telling you to give him money so he can buy apartment buildings and telling you not to buy a house, because apartment buildings make a lot of money. They do. All right. So now and Wells Fargo is actually estimating that appreciation is at least in 2024 going to be 2 to 2.5%. But actually Zillow estimates it at about 6.5% in 2024. So house values are still going to be going up. So there is no need to wait. You're only going to be paying more and more over time. That's how real estate works. So there's no point sitting on the sideline waiting to buy a home. If you can actually get qualified and buy a home and you don't have one, you should do that. Okay. And I know there are people out there that do not look like us telling us not to buy a house. That is a lie. That is a lie. The devil is a lie. All right. Real estate is the one thing that has not gone down in value. There's been 2 times in history that real estate values have gone down, meaning you buy it and it went down. But then when you adjust or if you just kept that property, you would have still made out. Those 2 times were 1929 during the Depression and during the real estate housing crash in 2010 after the 2008 market crash. There's only 2 times in the past over 100 years. So why would you fall for the trap of saying, I'm not going to buy a house? If anything, you should be getting more houses because you want to be the owner, not the renter. The renter is how you stay in that position where you're not able to build wealth. Okay, so stop listening to these men that do not have your history. There's literally been a time, and especially as a Black American, when they have tried to stop us from buying homes. They have literally created laws, redlining, blockbusting, okay, where people redlining meant they would draw a red line and not lend to you because you lived in a certain neighborhood, and that was all racially based. So to be in 2024 and still carry on that is you're falling for a scam. And then what are you spending your money on? Buying consumerism, buying stuff that's not going to build wealth. So I'm not saying you don't buy stuff. I buy stuff, but I'm rich now. So if I have a home, I have lots of properties. So you need these tangible assets that are going up in value. All right. So now let's talk about what your options are, because when we're looking at the stats, when we're talking about the housing market crash, how that would happen, okay, and I don't actually think it is going to happen, but how it would happen would be home values going down. But let's talk about the actual economic stats that we have. We have unemployment at 3.7%, which is some of the lowest unemployment that we have seen, okay? And so everybody out here got something negative to say about Joe Biden. Y'all cannot say anything negative about that. Okay. You cannot say anything negative about that. We have great unemployment. But the issue, if you kind of look at the other economic stat, would be the wages. Wages haven't necessarily gone up. That's what was creating some of that unaffordability. But you can find distressed assets. So as people are working, there are people that are getting relocated. There are people that are aging out. There are people that are looking to sell off their rental properties. In fact, the last deal that me and my students did was like, we had this elderly guy. He actually got sick and he was selling all 6 of his rental properties. And so instead of selling them all, he needed to sell all of them quickly. So we were able to negotiate $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 off of his asking price because we were buying all of them at the same time. And we were buying them quickly. So another thing, one of the great ways that you can get great deals on real estate is when you are able to close quickly. Okay. So some of that will require you fixing your credit. Okay. If you need help with your credit, go to creativecreditsolutions.net. They helped me fix my credit many years ago. They've helped many of my students. Tell them Noelle Randall sent you. If you're on YouTube, there'll be a link in the description box. Easy. Okay. You can fix your credit, business credit. Okay, this is how you could avoid the market crash. Or if it does happen, which I don't think it will, but if it does, you need to have cash on hand. This is why you can get those. This is how you can get those distressed assets. And so one of the best times to borrow is when you don't need it. And one of the best times to get business credit and business funding is right now. Okay, right now. Literally, you can start an LLC and get $50,000 worth of funding in 3 days. Yeah. Okay. And this is not airy fairy stuff. Literally, you can go to noellerandall.com/big think, BIGTHINCK, big think. Also, I'm having an event where you can come and actually see our properties. You can ask me questions. You can network with my group. Tickets are almost sold out. I think we have like 12 tickets left. So you need to go there now. That's newreztours.com, NUUTOURS.com. Hold on. If you are on my YouTube, I'm actually going to show that to you right now. Hold on. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show that to you right now because you can get your tickets. All the VIP is actually sold out, but we have the general admissions. And if you use the code YouTube, you can save. Okay. And these are the last tickets. You'll get on. It's all day learning with me. Literally, I am there. Well, I'll take you to my short-term rental properties because like I said, the vacation rentals, that was somebody asked, they actually cash flow at a much higher rate. So remember, I told you the golden trinity of real estate was cash flow, equity, and appreciation. One of the reasons I like short-term rentals is because of the cash flow. Okay, you can actually rent them out on a nightly basis. You don't even have to have it rented all month to make more than you would with a vacant unfurnished rental property. And trust me, I've done both, and I do have both in my portfolio. So I'm not to say that you'll never do any vacant, unfurnished rental properties, but right now, it is still a very, very lucrative niche. And so I want to show you this business and see if it's something that interests you, because there's so many different ways to make money. You can make money actually owning the properties and doing short-term rentals. You can create cleaning businesses. Airbnb cleaning businesses is another amazing niche of a business. If you have cleaning teams, you know how to clean. Property management, that's another amazing thing. Again, you don't have to own the property. You can property management. You can do co-hosting. There's so many ways to make money with short-term rentals, which is literally why I relocated from Dallas, Texas to Orlando, Florida. I live in Orlando. I live in Kissimmee, Florida, because I was making so much money off of these rental properties, these short-term rentals, and they cash flow at such a much higher rate. And then you still have the appreciation. Remember, they're still going up in value. So I bought a townhouse in 2019. I paid $195 for it, sold it last year, and made $150,000. I sold it for like $335. Okay. And I owned $195 to $335 in 2 years. Plus, I was cash flowing it, so making $1,500, $2,000 per month. And again, I have a dozen of these properties. So just think about that. That's how you build wealth really easily. And you can start with your first property being your primary residence. Literally, you can get your first primary residence, put down 3%. Okay, they have conventional loans, FHA loans. You have to put down 3.5%. You move into that property, you live in it, and then you go and turn that into a rental property and get your next property. Really easy stuff. And you can build business credit and business lines of credit, business credit cards to fund all of this stuff. So it's not hard to do. It's just most of us, no one told us. We didn't know that you could do that. We don't know what banks to go to. We don't know what credit scores. We don't know what to put on the application. So many things that you don't know that now I know and I want to teach you. So if you really, really want to learn this and you're serious about this, you should come to the New Rez Tours. Okay. That's NUUREZTOURS.com. Okay. If you're on YouTube right now, you can see the website. Tickets are almost sold out. The VIP is already completely sold out. We have the general admission that you can still get. Really easy. You can use the code YouTube. All right. So you get your tickets now. It's February 24th, 2024. So it's coming up. That's why it's almost sold out. It's just in a couple of weeks. And again, it's just one day. You literally can drive down. You can fly in. I have people that'll drive in. You get in on Friday evening. We have like a little reception party. Then on Saturday, it's all day. I give you breakfast, lunch, and dinner because you're with me all day. We're going on the tour. You're looking at the properties. We show you how much we pay for them, how much it costs to furnish them, how much we rent them out for night. You get to ask your questions. You get to touch it. You get to see it. Like, it really is an amazing thing. And unfortunately, this is the bad part. This is the last one I'm going to be able to do possibly ever, but there won't be another one in 2024 at all. So if there is any possible way you can take this Saturday, February 24th, and come, you should. This is a great way to meet me. This is a great way to get connected. This is how we partner. This is how you learn. Instead of just watching videos and getting on TikTok, you actually get to come see the properties. You see where they are. We actually own some of them. We lease some of them. We even tell you how to rent apartments and start your business. Okay. Or if you don't even want to own, like I said, you can do Airbnb cleaning businesses. You can do property management. You don't have to have a real estate license in most states to do property management of short-term rentals. So again, just so many opportunities for you to increase your cash flow. The number one way to become wealthy is make more money. Instead of you listening to these people talk about budget and cut off your Netflix and cut off your Starbucks coffee, why you just don't make more money? Why you just can't make $10,000 a month, $20,000 per month and live the life that you want? It'll be I hate when rich people, and again, I'm a rich person, always telling somebody to cut back on their life. Meanwhile, they drive a Lamborghini and live in a mansion. I'm literally telling you my life. So I'm not going to ever tell you to cut back on your life. I'm going to say you can increase your income, and you really can, and you can get assets. That is how you get wealthy. And the easiest assets to start getting, which because they finance them, is mortgages, is to get a HELOC or mortgage and get some real estate. Okay. So get your tickets right now, newreztours.com. You get your tickets now. Like I said, it's the VIP is sold out. So get your general admission and you can save 10% using the code YouTube. That takes almost $50 off the ticket. And it includes everything. So not everything, like includes that whole day. You still have to get yourself here. Okay. You have to get yourself to Orlando or Kissimmee, Florida. And you can buy your ticket right there. You also get a backpack. So you'll get a t-shirt. People are asking, what do you get? So of course you get all day. I have the breakfast, have the lunch, have the dinner for you. Because it's all day. It starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 9 p.m. So it's all day. I just pack it, all that information in, but you get to ask all of your questions too. You got to wear comfortable shoes and stuff because we're going to go on for property to property. We put you on a luxury bus, show you the properties. You actually even have a workbook. So I'm like teaching you, like, here's how you could find properties at a discount. Here's how you would find these things in county record. Here's how you could get the property furnished for a little bit of nothing, or how you could even finance all of the furniture and furnishings for the property using business credit and business funding. Okay. So go to newreztours.com. When you're right there, when you buy your ticket, go to get tickets. You'll easily put that in there. And if you look, if you're on YouTube, you'll see right here, it says enter coupon code. That's where you type in YouTube. Okay. Even if you're on TikTok, use the YouTube code so you can save money. All right. And it's February 24th, 2024. It's a Saturday. And this is how you can avoid that market crash, because if you can start getting business credit, okay, if you can start getting business credit right now, that is going to really save you. Because there's three things that you can do with business credit that's amazing. Obviously, it's funding for your business. You can get business loans, business lines of credit, okay? And you can get, so business loans, business lines of credit, and business credit cards. You can literally get all three when you open up a business checking account. If you have bad credit, it will take you a little bit longer because you will have to go through a few steps, because you'll have to get some vendor trade lines and stuff like that on your business credit report. But we show you how to do that. That is not difficult. It doesn't cost very much money. Okay. The next thing, but if you have good credit, say you have like a 640, 660 score, you can go right there. You can, I've literally have students that get $50,000 after opening up a new LLC. Okay. And there's banks right now that use stated income. So you don't have to show them any tax returns. You're not showing them any bank statements, literally stated income. And this is some of the stuff that we teach you and show you at the New Rez Tours, which again, why you should come. Because when you combine business credit and business funding with real estate, that's how you can build your wealth. And you can go from zero to millionaire in less than a year. Literally. And I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. Now, again, I can't guarantee that everyone will do that, because some of you won't actually come to the event or do it. But literally, just think about this. Okay. I have a quick little thing here. All right. So say you have this one property. Let me just kind of write this out for you guys. All right. Hold on. Let me stop the share so you guys can see it. All right. So you have this one house. All right. Like I said, I gave the example. If you need funding, you need a mortgage, go to newlending.com. So I'm going to write that down. New Lending, NUULENDING.com, newlending.com. Okay. And we're not going to pull your credit. You can get, we can start with business mortgages. If you want business funding and business credit and you're ready for that, just go to noelrandall.com/big think. Okay. So let's say you get this first house really easily. Okay. So those of you that do not have a house, all right, super easy. You'll get a regular loan for 3% down. All right. You can use business credit and business funding, because a lot of times it doesn't show on your personal credit report that you even have those loans. All right. And you can use that as your down payment. You put down 3%, you have $50,000, you buy a house that's like $250,000. Again, that's maybe 10 grand total that you need. Let's say 15, let's go high. Say you need $15,000. You have 50,000, okay, that you're going to get on a business line of credit. So now you have $35,000 left over, and you leave that in reserves. And this is how you can start then getting more property, because in order to you do some of the fun stuff with investment properties and this DSCR loans and stuff like that I'm talking about, they do want you to have a mortgage reporting on your credit report. So they want you to have a primary residence first. And that's the best way to get your first rental property, period, point blank. I don't know why anybody would tell you not to use the system that we have. Okay, we have a great system where you can put 3% down. They have down payment assistance. You can buy a house. If you're a veteran and have VA loans, we can get 100% financing. You will be a fool not to, I'm telling you. And you buy that first home, and that's that's going to be your first rental property. All right. So then you buy this house. Okay. Let's just say you pay $250 for it. All right. After 2 years, it's worth probably $350. Seriously, between 2 to 5 years. And this is not me saying this. This is directly from Rich Dad Poor Dad. And it's been the same for years and years. We just have natural appreciation. And again, we tell you not to buy way out into way out in rural areas. I know people love having their own land and their own space, but if you want a house that has the most appreciation, you need to be closer into the city. Now, again, you don't need to be in the city. You don't have to be in Chicago, but you would want to be in the outskirts of them. You don't have to be in Dallas, but you would want to be on the outskirts. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to be in Atlanta, but you could be in the suburbs. You could be in Snellville or Duluth. You get what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily have to be in your city center, but some of those areas right around it are going to have the highest appreciation. And that's some of the stuff that we teach you. So then you sell this house, okay? And you have $100,000 now. That's just in, you know, but again, this house, I told you, you only cost you $15,000 to get it. So if 2 years, 2.5 years later, you have $100,000 that you're walking away with, how many more of these could you get? Just using those numbers and still even keeping some, you could get 4 more houses. And even now, and doing the stuff that we're saying, guess what? You would have had built business credit over these past 2 years. And on average, we're able to take you from having, you start off with maybe $50,000 in business credit. But one of the things that you keep doing is you keep getting business funding. So once you're able to even show them that you can pay the $50,000, in 6 months, you can get $100,000, a $200,000. Like literally, it just keeps going up and up and up. So the amazing thing about it is after like 2 or 3 years of building your business credit and business funding, you literally will have $1 million in funding. And that's through you'll start getting approved for Business American Expresses. You'll get approved for Chase Business Inc., Capital One, Spark Card. PNC has great business loans, business credit cards, Regions Bank, Truist, which used to be BB&T. Like we have all of these great banks, and we even now take it a step further, and you can get a HELOC and buy properties with a HELOC with Velocity Banking. I will be here all day if I was trying to teach you guys this, but literally where you start to really maximize your money is if you could get a HELOC. So you don't even have to sell this property. So in this example, I said sell it, but what if you didn't sell it? Because again, you'd have to pay capital gains taxes. So one of the things that we teach you to do is you just do a refinance and pull some of that cash out, or you would do a HELOC, so that you don't have to spend all the money. You don't even have to draw it, but you just use that almost like, okay, this is capital reserves that I have. I got this $100,000. I'm sitting it over here. I feel secure. When an opportunity comes, and a lot of the stuff that we teach you with buying pre-foreclosures, buying distressed properties, probate, divorce, bankruptcy, like all of those different niches that I teach you on how to start getting properties for pennies on the dollars, you could easily build this portfolio and and become a millionaire in less than a year. Okay. It's basically what I call my portfolio launch portfolio, where you just take that first home and you turn it into 4 and 5 homes in less than a year. Okay. Using business credit and business funding. And then by year 2, if you're definitely into millionaire status, if you do what I teach you, because you're going to be building business credit and business funding and using that to buy assets. Okay, buy assets. You're going to buy real estate with it, turn those into rental properties. You don't have to manage them. We have property management that we can set you up with if you don't want to manage it, or you can even let them manage it for like the first 3 months, 6 months, and then take it back over once you've kind of learned what they're doing. It's all for you. Again, whatever it is that you want to do, we can help you do that. But we have to start. You cannot just sit on the sidelines waiting to become rich. You have to start doing these things, and it's going to take you being a little bit different. And that's why I'm encouraging you to come to the new Rez Tours, NUUTOURS.com. It's the last one that I'm doing at all in 2024, and it may be the last one I can do, period. And that's just because I'm so busy, and I have a television show and some other stuff that I'm putting together. And I'm spotlighting my students with that. Okay. So that is an amazing thing. And again, I'm not sure if it's going to be on a streaming service or anything like that. So I don't want to give too much of it away. It's something that I actually have been working on for a few years. Just to get it out there that this is the number one way to wealth. And there really are people that look like me and you that started from nothing, bankrupt, broke, bad credit, no money, and was able to turn our whole situations around just by investing in ourselves, going to classes, going to seminars, going to conferences, learning something, doing it, and then eventually teaching it. Okay, that is an easy way to make a lot of money. But your core is going to be owning real estate, because you don't have to teach it to make money. Like I never have to teach anybody. I don't have to do any TikToks. I don't have to do any of that to make money, because I have a portfolio of rental properties. I can sell them off however I choose. I cash flow them. They're going up in value over time. And I'm buying properties strategically in areas with really high appreciation rates. So I can keep a property 2, 3 years, and I've doubled my money in 2 years. All right. And I've cash flowed it at it. So it's even more than that, because the cash flow, again, you're making $1,500, $2,000 per month per property. So for some people that make $40,000, $50,000 per year, you can get 2 or 3 properties and you've completely replaced your income. You've actually given yourself a raise, and now you own your time. And you own something tangible that's going up in value that you can sell off. And then you can get even more rental property. So you sell one property, you can easily sell that one property and get 4 more. Sell another property, get 4 more, and still have money left over. Like, it is so easy to do this, but so many of us are afraid of the risks, because you do have to risk your credit. But now some of the things that we have going now, you don't have to risk your credit as much. We have business credit. You set up the LLC, you get the EIN. Again, I teach you all of this stuff. You start building business credit. In the beginning, you may have to personally guarantee it, but then you can get those personal guarantees taken off, or you're able to have enough money. So you're really not concerned about that. Okay. And you have the LLC, for example. And again, I'm not a tax advisor or an attorney, so I can't tell you what business structure to use. But I personally, and my students, many of us use LLCs to get started, because that does protect us and separate us from our business. Okay. And this is another way, when the market crash happens, you can actually take advantage, because you can buy properties in your business's name. You can get mortgages in your business's name. Okay. So not only are you able to get business credit to make for the down payment, you literally can get the mortgage in your business's name as well. All right. And if you want to learn more about that, again, you can go to newlending, NUULENDING.com. But more importantly, you should come to the New Rez tours. Meet me. Let me show you this stuff. Let me give you give you the workbook that has all of it, give you the worksheets. You go to the properties, and then you can start to build your own portfolio when you leave. And that, to me, is what we're going to have to do. We're not going to be able to just give our money to some billionaire and then hope that he makes us rich by buying apartment complexes. You could buy your own property. You can have your own portfolio. You could be rich on your own. You could be rich in real life. Okay. Instead of looking up to these, older white men that have, that are billionaire and undercover billionaires and all this foolishness, telling you not to buy a home, but you should give them money to put in their fund, and then they buy apartment complexes. Meanwhile, you don't own anything. That doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. None whatsoever. Now, if you have lots of money and you want to give to people's funds and stuff like that, absolutely. Absolutely. I had a fund. We have rental properties, but it was a small amount. I wasn't asking people to give me $40,000 and $50,000. Okay. I said 500, so that you could learn the business and you could have rental properties and get your feet wet. And that's what we did. And you can do those exact same things. You could do those exact same things. You just have to be a little bit different. You're going to have to invest a little bit in yourself. That's why I said New Rez Tours is not free, but at the same time, it's very inexpensive. NewRezTours.com. Use the code YouTube. That will save you 10%. That's actually almost $60 off the ticket. We're almost sold out, so it'll probably be sold out over the next couple of days. And it's February 24th, 2024. That's a Saturday. Literally, you can drive in, come in Friday evening for your reception, get your backpack, get your books. We give you all of that the night before so that we can start Saturday morning on time. And we go, and it is amazing. And people literally leave Saturday evening knowing exactly what they're going to do on Monday morning. They have all of the tools, all of the knowledge, all of the resources to build their own portfolio of rental properties. And that's what I'm teaching you. I don't want you to, I have my own rental properties. I don't need that. I don't want that. I want you to have your own rental properties, because we'll be stronger together. Okay. And then even if something happens, say you lost your job, say your income went away, say you got sick. We have a network now. You could sell your properties to us so you don't ruin your credit. You don't have to go bankrupt. You don't have to go into foreclosure. We are stronger together. We actually have a very, very strong network. So we are able to keep our rental properties. We are able to keep our real estate, because that too has been a major issue, where we can get a property, but then we are in foreclosure in a year or two, and we don't have this network. But now we do. Now we do. So come on out, get a part of it, get going. NewRezTours.com. Use the code YouTube to save 10%. The market crash, I don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, my recommendations are always going to be some of the standard advice. Get a fixed rate mortgage, 30-year mortgage. Yes, a 30-year mortgage is still what it is because the payments are lower and you can pay it off faster if you need to. You can double up on the payments. Okay. So somebody said how much? New Res Tours, the general admission is $597. Okay. And then you use the ticket to save $60. That's 10% off. So it's 400 and some odd dollars. Okay. And that again includes the breakfast, the lunch, the dinner, the backpack, the t-shirt, the books, like all of it. You get to ask all your questions. I'm really going to be there. It's not going to be like, I'm not going to see Noel. Like you literally get to meet me, see me. I'll ask the questions. You're actually going to see my real properties. Okay. We help you with financing. If you want to start building your portfolio, now you're connected to the network too. Okay. And like I said, so if something happens, you got us. All right. So 30-year, here's my recommendations for the market crash. Again, I don't think it's going to happen based on some of the statistics, but you never know. So, but if it does, let's talk about how you're protecting yourself, business credit and business funding. And again, borrowing before you need the money. Do not wait till you are in dire straits to then go to the bank and start asking for money. So you build the business really quickly and then you start getting funded quickly. Okay. And if you have bad credit, we can help you get good credit. You can get good credit in a matter of months. We can get stuff deleted off your credit report. We can get stuff removed. We get stuff consolidated. Like literally, I used to have very, very bad credit. My credit was less than, was like 5 something. And now it's consistently, I don't think my credit score has gone below 720 in years. Okay. And at one pack, it was actually 813, but, something happened and it went down a little bit. But anyway, I'm working on getting that back. So anyway, back to 30-year mortgage. You want to get a 30-year mortgage. You want to get a fixed rate. If you actually already have a home, you can get a HELOC and then start getting other real estate. Okay. And you could actually even finance the property that you have into a HELOC and do what we call velocity banking, where you take your entire income and you put it towards the mortgage, and then you use the checks that they give you with the HELOC to pay all of your bills. Now, that's a little bit too much for me to go in, and it is a little bit more advanced. So if you're not really good with budgeting and paying your bills on time, I don't recommend that. But if you're someone that has good credit and you're able to manage yourself, you are missing out on a ton of savings. You literally could be paying your mortgage off in 7 years, a 30-year mortgage if you use the HELOC instead. And you could literally leverage one property to get 5 and 6 more using that HELOC and still have reserves left over. Okay. And you can even get HELOCs in your business's name. Okay. So those are my real 3 pieces of advice. If you don't have a home, get one. That'll be your first rental property. You're going to move into it. It's going to be your primary residence, but you're going to turn that into your first rental property. And so you're going to buy that property with a different mindset too. You know what I mean? You're not going to be looking at it like, oh, it's close to my job, or, oh, I love it because my kid's school. You're not. You're going to be looking at it as an investor. And that does have a different mindset because that's more about what is this property going to be worth in 2 or 3 years. And we teach you that. Okay. So yes, Deja Vu said, will this live be up after? Yes, make sure this live is up. I'm here. I love it. I love you guys' questions too. Let me take just a couple of questions that I see here on YouTube or TikTok, because put your questions in. I'll answer a couple of questions. I'll answer. So Dwayne Mayweather sending me so many hearts. Thank you, Dwayne. Ebony Haynes just got my LLC. Thirsty Roberto, he gave me the little fist. I love that. Y'all, because y'all get it. Y'all get that there's people out here that are telling you not to buy real estate, yet they literally made laws to stop Black people from buying real estate. Why would you then be able to do it and then not do it? Don't fall for that trick. Do not fall for that trick. Do not. Okay. And then I'm going to teach you to be rich by telling you not to buy a house. Now, you don't want to buy too much house. And again, that's why I want you to come to the New Res Tours, because we'll talk to you about buying a property that's going to be a rental property. And so some of us do buy these houses way the heck out in the middle of nowhere because it's big house, cheap land. You know what I mean? And so those properties don't end up going up in value very much. Well, then that's not the type of property that I'm telling you to buy. I'm telling you to buy, you can literally buy properties that almost double your investment in 2.5 years. Okay. All right. Sharonda Bay says hello, by the way. Hey, Sharonda. Okay. Princess says, how can someone get funding who is self-employed? Easy. Easy. This is what I'm talking about. If you're self-employed, then you literally can get business credit because you have a business. So you can actually get business credit and business funding. And then, like I said, with the investment loans, like the DSCR loans, the debt service coverage ratio loans, where they just, you have to put 20% down and they lend to you based on the property. So if the property is leased and it has a lease, they use that as the income, and that's how they qualify you. And those work great for self-employed people. Remember, I'm self-employed. I don't have a job. I don't work for anybody. I don't have a W-2. But obviously, people that are W-2'd can easily get the conventional loans. So I'm not gonna lie, Princess. Obviously, those conventional loans that those FHA loans, they're much easier to get if you just have a pay stub and a W-2. But if you are self-employed, you can still get an FHA loan and a conventional loan. But in some cases, maybe you'll just get a business line of credit, and then you combine it with a DSCR loan, and then boom, that's how you'll build your portfolio. So many different options. Do not let people say that you cannot. I've seen every situation. I've now owned this business and worked in this business since 2014. Okay. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary. So I've seen pretty much everything. And what I'm proud of is that more of us are actually starting to catch on. I'm getting more athlete clients. So I'm not just saying just like regular people, but I'm actually getting a lot more athletes. Even these young boys, they get drafted by the NFL. They get a $3 million contract. They like, Noel, here's $1 million. Get me a portfolio. I know I'm not going to be able to play football for the next 20 years. And they coming into it smarter. They're not just going and buying a Ferrari and all, stuff like that. They're buying rental properties. These young dudes that you don't even know their names. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like, of course, if you're, Brett Favre or whatever, I don't even know, you're Brock Purdy or what's the other quarterback that just paid for the Chiefs? Y'all, I can't remember his name. Anyway, I'm not talking about those type of contracts. Those are my clients, but I would love for him to be my client. But I'm just saying, even just smarter. You don't have to be rich in order to do this. But I think what we're catching on to is that if we own real estate, that actually makes us a lot more powerful. Okay. You actually owning real estate gets you into doors. Okay. So if you own an apartment complex in the city, you can get a meeting with the mayor. You know what I mean? Things like that. And so then you have this portfolio of real estate that you can sell off however you choose. So you can just get guaps of cash selling one of your properties, and you still got 4 left and they're cash flowing for you. Or you could refinance it, pull the cash out so you don't have to pay taxes on it. So a lot of stuff that we can do with the tax system with rental properties. Okay. So you can easily pull out $50,000, $60,000 cash from your property really easily and still have a ton of equity in that property. And you're wealthy. Now you're wealthy. Okay. So Christian said, you're paying the down payment with the business loan. Correct. You still would get a mortgage. I still recommend you getting a mortgage, and then you use your business credit and your business funds for the down payment. You could even use a business credit card. In many cases, though, like I said, I even teach you how to start finding people that are behind on their mortgage payment, because then you can do stuff like subject to. You can do the taking over payment systems where you take over their payments and then you still sign the deed and it's your property, but you keep their mortgage. Okay. Again, I would be up here all day if I taught y'all how to do that. But those are some of the things that we teach you at the New Rez Tours. So guys, you should come. Okay. Come to New Rez Tours. It's almost sold out. The VIP is sold out, but the general admission, we still have a few tickets left, and it's a full day of learning. Get it? All right. So Arden says, I was homeless 3 months ago. All right. Well, now it's your time. You're not homeless no more. You could do this. Like I said, I used to be broke living in my parents' basement with, pregnant with my 3rd kid. Today, that same kid goes to private school. So you could turn your situation around. And I'm not saying any of these things to brag. I'm saying you can turn stuff around, especially when you get access to information. Like once I started going to classes and seminars and going to stuff, I started meeting people that taught me stuff that I did not know and then showed me how to do it. And that's what we do at New Rez Tours, because that was one of the things I promised. I said, if I make it, and somehow I knew I had confidence in myself, but I said that if I make it, I'm going to tell everybody. And that's why I have the YouTube channel and I teach you guys all of this stuff. And I've been doing events for the past 3 years, but now it's like time for me to move to that next level. I have, 700,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm getting a lot of attention and moving to that next level. But I do appreciate if you could subscribe to that channel. That really does help. That gives funding, that helps with the, the different people that will give us funding and tell me more things. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. The bigger bigger I get, the more information I get and the more I can share with y'all. So help me help you. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, click that button and subscribe. It really does help. Follow me on TikTok. The more followers and stuff I have, the more access I get to these richer. I've now gotten billionaires calling me. You know what I mean? I get more athletes and then they tell me stuff. So then we have these bigger funds. I'm able to do more stuff with you guys and all of us. It's like they say, a rising tide lifts all the boats. Okay. We all benefit. All right, I've been up here all day and I have another call I got to do. Y'all are so amazing. Play this back. I gave out so much information, so many gems in this. I try not to talk too fast, but I would love to see you guys at newreztours.com. Use the code YouTube to save. Tickets are almost sold out. Get your tickets today. Get them today. If you have any questions, you need to talk to my team. The phone number for my office is 888-479-4542. Or if you need to email us, you can always email us at contact@noelrandall.com. Any questions about the ticket, like where would you get a hotel? We have all of those things we can help you with. Many people just drive in. Again, I made sure it's on a weekend. So it's a Saturday, February 24th. So that's a Saturday. You come in Friday evening, do the registration. Saturday is all day, and you can get back in your car, drive home on Sunday. And on Monday, you are doing it. You actually can implement the stuff that I teach you, and you'll have all the tools, all the resources, all the knowledge to take yourself to that next level. So super important. All right, guys, I really appreciate you so much. I will talk to y'all next time.